Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar with the topic How to Apply for Student Trainee Exchange Program. My name is Aneta Korcová and I'm the current VP STEP of ELSA International. Today we will present you the advantages of our program, also show you the way how to apply, and in the end of the webinar we will have Antonia Markoviti, who will share her experience with the Student Trainee Exchange Program. First of all, please ask questions in the comments anytime. We have a 9 seconds delay, but all of your questions will be answered. So now I would like to start, also welcoming Antonia, who you now can see in the screen, with how to apply for Student Trainee Exchange Program. First of all, what are our advantages of the program? So through STEP, you can not only develop practical working skills, but also improve your language skills. Altogether, you will for sure enrich your CV, and in the end, after the finish of the traineeship and you filling evaluation form, you will also receive STEP certificate, proving that you attended our program. What is the other very important thing is that you can discover other cultures, meet new people from all around the world, and go to different destinations. Our program is very diverse. You can apply for traineeships, and when it comes to duration, from 2 weeks up to 2 years. And also focus of the traineeships is very, very diverse. We are now currently offering 266 spots provided by 200 traineeship providers in 33 countries. We are not only in Europe, but also 7 of the countries are outside of Europe. What you can also get out of STEP traineeship is, of course, remuneration. Most of our traineeships are either paid or you get accommodation or any other non-monetary benefit. And what is also unique about our program is the reception part, meaning that we as ELSA will take care of you through the whole experience. From the very beginning, while helping you with application, we will also help you during your stay in the country and also through participating in activities which our local and national officers are organizing in the countries. The application is free of charge and it is very, very easy to apply, which I will show you in a few minutes. I will now just quickly check if there is some questions. I see none so far, so we can continue in our presentation. So now I would like to present you the main rules, which main requirements you have to fulfill in order to be able to apply for STEP. And that is that, first of all, our program is available for law students and recent graduates who are ELSA members. This rule is very, very important, and if you're not sure how to become ELSA member in your country, you can contact your local or national officer. If you're not sure where to find the contact for national officers, you can go on our website and in About, click on the network. Here are our countries, and after clicking on them, you can search for the contact for respective STEP national officers who then get you in touch with the local officers. Then the second thing, you can apply up to 3 traineeships in order of your preferences. And this opportunity is for this cycle, but also we are operating in the next cycle. So it is possible for you to apply now for the 3 traineeships and the next cycle also for 3 traineeships. What to do to apply is simply filling out student application form. What is very, very important, it has to be in English. Even though you're applying for the traineeship which doesn't require English or requires other language, you always have to fill out application form in English language. Our very important rule is also that you shouldn't contact traineeship provider on your own, but after the selection results, you will get in touch with them through us, or traineeship provider in some cases can contact you by himself. We also have some rules of cancellation because we, and as well you, should take our program very, very seriously. So please apply just if you know that you can really participate in the traineeships you're applying for. And if then there would be valid reason for cancellation, of course there can be some, but one of the very important things is that if you apply for 3 traineeships and you're accepted for all of them, you can cancel your participation in all of them except for 1. So don't worry and apply for these 3 traineeships. Okay. I see the question that if you're not a law student, but you're graduated in studies in sociology, okay. So as I said, the main rule is that you have to be ELSA member. So in this case, please contact your local or national step officer and get in touch with them to find out what requirements they have. If you have already some degree from law school or similar institution, it shouldn't be a problem. I will wait if I will see other questions. So far, I don't see any. So we can continue with the concrete ways how you can apply. So application procedure is very, very simple. First of all, of course, you can choose your traineeship. How to do it? Again, extremely simple way. You go our STEP website. So you go on step.elsa.org under the traineeships, and you can search for your traineeships through our search engine. So as you can see, there are categories as countries, duration, language, study levels, legal skills. But also what you can do is go to country overview, where you can search for the countries. And then the third option is when you click on the PDF, which might be also interesting for you. And there is the overview of all traineeships with the main information about them. Okay, so the next thing is that you have to fill out application until 18th of December. This is our deadline. And what happens after that? Yeah, well, first of all, I would like to show you how exactly you can apply. So again, very, very simple. You click on Apply Here button on our STEP website. And you simply fill out the application. So first of all, what is important is don't be mistaken about the codes. Codes are a really, really important thing because that's how we are then matching you and connecting you with the concrete traineeships. Then, of course, main information about yourself and contact details. When it comes to education skills, please be very, very sure that you really have everything what you're stating to have here. And it is enough in most of the cases to have the knowledge which the specific traineeship provider requires. Also, next thing is language skills. As you can see, you can choose from different levels, fluent, good, and basic. And also, important thing is study level. In a study level, it is possible to apply for the traineeship, even though you have, for example, not bachelor degree yet, but you will have at the time, you're sure you will have it at the time of the traineeship. Okay. I believe that I just, by continuing in my presentation, also answered the question. So, as I said, you can apply even though you're still studying. And there are also some countries where there is no bachelor degree at all and they have just masters. So, of course, when you're in the year, which is basically bachelor year, you can also apply. That is also very possible. So, to continue, the next thing which you have to focus on is CV. CV can be also written in bullet points, but as from my experience, I would recommend you to make sure you will write a really, really good CV and also a really, really good motivation letter, because usually that is what the traineeship providers are looking the most. And during the whole procedure of applying, when you come to this point, you also have to read general terms of participation and our privacy policy. And of course, click as you read it and continue. After continuing, you will see overview of what you filled. And then don't forget to send data. Once you send data, the confirmation email will come to your email which you stated in the application, and that is how you can see that we received your application. Okay, so to continue, the next step is approval. So this is something which you can influence by information, of course, by information which you're filling out. But for you to know what is happening with your application after submitting it, it is approved by local and national officers. At this stage, local officers can contact you so you can prove that you really have the skills which you claim to have in the application. After that, we as Salsa International are doing pre-selection of applications. So we're going through all of them again. That's how we are making sure that everything is objective. And then after this, we are sending these pre-selected applications to the traineeship providers who are making their final decisions, and we are contacting you. For the first cycle, when you can expect the results, it is on the 26th of January 2018. And the next thing, once you confirm, and the important thing is you have to confirm within 7 days after receiving emails from me that you were selected and you were chosen, you will sign up the traineeship agreement, which is between you and the traineeship provider. I will again see the question. Okay, the question is if a person can also select legal skills, which only has after the second semester. Well, if you're attending the course where in the end you're 100% sure you will get the degree or some kind of certificate, or at least have fulfill this course, you can. In case it depends on some kind of exam, I would not recommend, because again, you really have to be sure once you're submitting. Then once the day of the traineeship comes, you have everything you stated to have in the application. Okay, so now I would like to just quickly remind where you find the information from us. So main sources of information is, of course, our STEP site, which I already showed you before. And it is step.elsa.org, where you also can find testimonials from the trainees and information about participation. And also in the section about, there is main things to know for applicants. Then, of course, as said before, contact your local or national STEP officer, where you can find information we already covered. It's in our general ELSA site. And then if you had, for example, no answer, or you have some difficulties, you can't figure out how to solve, you always can contact me on this email, step@elsa.org. Okay, this is the tips of motivation letter. Okay, so when it comes to motivation letter, as I said, thank you very much for the question, because it's very, very important to focus on this one. So first of all, what I would recommend is to do the research of the concrete traineeship provider. You have to see what the traineeship provider is focused on, not only in the requirements on the website, but also itself. So usually when you want to be selected, and you will write you have something even additional what the traineeship provider doesn't necessarily requires in the description of the traineeship, but is focused in his law practice. It's very, very good. It is highly recommended to write longer traineeship, like not too short motivation letters. And also the rule which we have, you of course, common sense says you have to be polite, but also we don't allow any political things into the motivation letter. What you also can do now is to put links into your applications. So for example, when you put link on your kind of thesis or something you've written, the traineeship provider also can see that you have some additional things. And yes, so basically to sum up, I would recommend you to do the research on what the traineeship provider is focused on. Also, also when it comes to not only legal skills, but language skills as well. I will just quickly check if we have, okay. So the question, another one is, if I have all the general legal skills except one, can I still apply? And if so, where do I inform the traineeship provider about it in the CV? So if you have all the skills which are required in the traineeship description, except for one, you don't need to do anything additional. You just fill out the information, the skills which you have. And then you have still chance to be pre-selected. You can explain also that you don't have that much insight in some subject, but you did, for example, research on it or explain a little bit more. It is not necessarily for the first stage, because that's where we are choosing. But for the traineeship provider, it can be good to know why you, for example, or when you will receive these skills. Okay, I will wait a little bit if there will be any other questions. Of course, you can write any other questions during also Antonia is speaking, even general ones for me, and then I will answer all of them after Antonia will tell us about her experience. So, okay, now I see one more question, which is asking about if it's possible to start a traineeship while you're a student and already graduated. So our traineeships are also available for young lawyers, so also graduated students. So yes, the answer is yes, you can still apply. Just contact your local group and ask for the requirements for becoming ELSA member in this certain local group. But yes, usually it is possible. Okay, so as I said before, you can still ask even general questions. I will do notes here, but now I would like to give a word to Antonia, who will tell us her experiences about her traineeship. And of course, you can also ask her any questions about how she liked being a STEP student. So now I would like to give word to Antonia.
Thank you very much, Aneta. So, hello from my side as well. I'm Antonia, and I'm also an undergraduate law student who participated in the project STEP of ELSA. So it can be either your initial step in ELSA or your final step, it doesn't matter, but in any case, it's definitely your chance to apply your legal knowledge in practice. So I will try to mention my experience while I did my step in the beautiful city of Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I can say that it was definitely a different practice than I could do abroad, just because of the whole assets of STEP that Aneta already mentioned. So first of all, let me briefly say something about the application. From my experience, it's for sure a very well set application. You saw the steps on the screen, and that's actually how it works. You have the chance to briefly mention what you have done in three, for example, the motivation letters. And that actually allows you to be really concrete for the traineeships that you really want. You don't have many extra questions. You mention what you really like. So when it comes to my side, what made me choose this traineeship was a balance of advantages. It was a short one. I spent 3 weeks in Bosnia. It was really specialized because the office that I chose is specializing on intellectual property law. And of course, I had a covered accommodation, which is always an asset when it comes to moving abroad, no matter, the prices of the country. So I estimated all of these factors and I applied for 2 positions and finally got selected for this specific one. When it comes later to the later stage, which was reception, I can definitely say that I was really satisfied. As I might have mentioned before, it was the first traineeship for the national group of Bosnia, of ELSA Bosnia and Herzegovina, to have me as a trainee there. And all the officers of ELSA, and especially the STEP team, really welcomed me. I arrived to a new country that I have never been before, and 3 people by car picked me up from the airport. At the second stage, I had always someone to call if I needed something in the city, to pick me from the hostel where I was staying, to get me to the office, to show me around the city, get involved to their culture, and this is for sure, admittedly, a real big advantage when moving abroad, and especially to a country that you cannot speak the language. And so my advice now when it comes to the reception, in case that you are selected, is that try to keep close to the ELSA officers. I'm quite sure that whole network will do its best to show you around, to treat you very well, but also be close to them because, as you might know, they have many projects. So it's really good to keep interaction with these fellow law students because you have so many things to get from them. Mostly after work, as you can imagine. So that was the reception part. That is, again, for sure, one of the biggest advantages in STEP. When it comes now to the office, I stayed in the specific law firm, Pasalic and Partners, for 3 weeks. And the whole traineeship was quite diverse. What do I mean by that? The thing is that during the day, I was going from the morning till the afternoon, I had the chance not only to work, but also learn. This is something up to the employer, of course, but I can actually mention that I had 4 pillars of work during the traineeship. One of them was the purely legal one. Of course, I do not speak the language of the country, but since the employer had many international clients, I was working on some of their cases, which I could, speak thanks to my English language knowledge or German one. And I was writing the summaries, informing them about news that we might have had from the court to send us more evidence. So I was helpful in this way with international clients. Totally office work. At the second part, the partners and the paralegals of the office taught me how to organize office work. They showed me how they are ordering their invoices, how they order their clients in specific ways, some actually tips and tricks on how to be and act as a lawyer in a law firm, either big or small one. So this is also that was also very useful and practical in case you want to set up and organize your law firm in the future. And the third and really major pillar, in my opinion, was the fact that the employer, the partner of this firm, helped me really much with learning things because he was acting as a professor in a way. As I said before, the office is quite specializing on intellectual property. So she gave me the chance to learn things about this field, even more things that I knew from the university, because we were combining the knowledge, the legal knowledge, with some specific work. For example, one day we could work on the database of WIPO. We were introducing some trademarks or let's say updating deadlines. That was actually the most interesting thing that I got out from this office. It was a really multi-dimensional experience to be and work there. And final one, which is a bit more unique, was the fact that the employer and the main partner acted as a mentor for me. Some tips for lawyer life that you could get probably more easily from a parent, for example, who is a lawyer, rather than a boss. So this mentor status made me come really close to this office and in the end be extremely satisfied from this STEP experience. So all in all, I can say that STEP and this month was indeed one of the best in my life. I had the chance to feel very easily and quickly local in a new country. And all of this was not only thanks to a traineeship that I could do on my own if I searched on the net for some programs, but it was done thanks to STEP, which is organized and structured in a way that from the beginning, from the very first step that you get into the application procedure, you end up have all this great experience just because in every single step there is someone to help you and to actually, yeah, as I said, to help you be relaxed and not worrying about any problems that may probably occur if you did it on your own. So thanks to Elsa about that.
Okay, thank you very much, Antonia. We can wait a little bit if there are any questions for you. Meanwhile, I saw another question, which was regarding the CV. What meant by a really good CV is, of course, connected also what I said about the motivation letter. Try to do this research on traineeship provider and state not only where you worked, but also what additional extra activities you did. And also the same thing as in motivation letter, you can include the link for some of the things you did, maybe published some articles, etc. Yeah, so this and also about the bullet points. I saw also the CVs which were written in the whole sentences. From my experiences, I wouldn't really recommend it. Of course, it's up to you. But usually a traineeship provider likes more the bullet points where he or she can easily read through and quickly know what kind of experience the student has. So I would recommend to keep it simple in this way. We will meanwhile wait if there is any other question. Of course, you can also ask Antonia anything. I do not see any question right now. So therefore, just let me say that I would like to thank you for making time for this webinar. Also, as I said, you can contact us anytime, local officers, national officers, but also me. And you can share this video and also write other questions in the comments. We will, of course, answer all of them. And again, thank you, Antonia, for attending our webinar. And I hope that it was useful for you, and don't hesitate and apply for STEP traineeship.
Thank you very much.